Oh, Joe, I'll include you too. You have a certain arrogance. You want to tell the Iraqis how to run their country. I got to tell you, we should just plain get out.
Anti-war champion and former Democratic Senator for Alaska, Mike Gravel, has passed away at the age of 91. Now, Gravel represented Alaska from 1969 to 1981, but made waves in both 2008 and 2020 when he ran for the Democratic Party nomination. Now, instead of just telling you why Mike Gravel was so awesome, I'm going to play a couple of clips. So this first one here is a clip from the 2008 Democratic primary debate where Mike Gravel just sets the stage on fire.
At a forum earlier this year, I want to get this right, you said it doesn't matter whether you are elected president or not. So then, why are you here tonight? Shouldn't debates be for candidates who are in the race to win the race?
Ryan, you're right. I made that statement. But that's before I had a chance to stand with them three times. It's like going into the Senate. You know, the first time you get there, you're all excited. My God, how did I ever get here? Then about 6 months later, you say, how the hell did the rest of them get here? And I got to tell you, after standing up with them, some of these people frighten me. They frighten me. When you have mainline candidates that turn around and say that there's nothing off the table with respect to Iran, that's code for using nukes, nuclear devices. I got to tell you, I'm President of the United States. There will be no preemptive wars with nuclear devices. To my mind, it's immoral, and it's been immoral for the last 50 years as part of American foreign policy.
Let's use a little moderator discretion here. Senator Gravel, that's a weighty charge. Who on this stage exactly tonight worries you so much?
Well, I would say the top-tier ones. Top-tier ones. They've made statements. Oh, Joe, I'll include you too. You have a certain arrogance. You want to tell the Iraqis how to run their country. I got to tell you, we should just plain get out. Just plain get out. It's their country. They're asking us to leave, and we insist on staying there. And why not get out? What harm is it going to do? Oh, you hear the statement, well, my God, the soldiers will have died in vain. The entire deaths of Vietnam died in vain. And they're dying in vain right this very second. You know what's worse than a soldier dying in vain is more soldiers dying in vain. That's what's worse.
Here is a great example of how Mike Gravel was a trailblazer. Here he is back in 2007 at the time for the 2008 Democratic primary. On that stage, discussing how the U.S. should not be in Iraq while being laughed at by the other candidates. So you have these people, whether it's a Mike Gravel, whether it's a Bernie Sanders, who've been consistently on the right side of history. No one takes them seriously, and it takes, you know, the general public 20 plus years to finally acknowledge that these people were right at the time. Now, here's another example of that. So this from the AP. Gravel's Senate tenure was also notable for his anti-war activity. In 1971, he led a one-man filibuster to protest the Vietnam-era draft, and he read into the congressional record 4,100 pages of the 7,000-page leaked document known as the Pentagon Papers, the Defense Department's history of the country's early involvement in Vietnam. And here is a clip from that in 1971.
Can anyone doubt that these are agonizing times for America? Can anyone doubt that this nation is being torn apart by a war that sears its conscience? A terrible shadow of suspicion is across the land. Suspicion that we have made a terrible mistake, that we have spent lives and wealth in pursuit of an unworthy goal. I did not seek these papers. When they were offered, I accepted them. I have reviewed the papers in my possession and read much of the material. It is a remarkable work, to say the least. Remarkable for what it says about those those chiefly responsible for managing our efforts in Southeast Asia in 1967.
Mike Gravel there, unlike most politicians, has an actual record of being on the right side of history. Now, as I said, he ran for the 2020 Democratic primary and did qualify for the debates, but was not let on stage. So I was reminded of this by this tweet from Mike from PA, who said, "Don't anyone forget that the DNC changed the rules to keep Senator Mike Gravel off the debate stage and then later changed them again to get billionaire Michael Bloomberg into the debates." This is 100% true, and absolutely crazy that he was not allowed on the stage. Just a quick overview of that. He reached the donor threshold to qualify for the July debates. The DNC at the time not letting him on, even though their criteria says here that you need either 65,000 campaign donors with at least 200 donors in 20 different states, or poll above 1%. Mike Gravel met this threshold. And candidates that only met this threshold, polling above 1%, like Bill de Blasio, were allowed to debate, were allowed to be on stage, but Mike Gravel was not. And then later on, Michael Bloomberg, the only candidate to give money to the DNC, they just changed the rules to let him on the debate stage. Now, a few last things here. Bernie Sanders tweeted out, "Jane and I are saddened by the passing of Senator Mike Gravel. He was dedicated to ending forever wars and bringing more Americans into the political process. His courage will be deeply missed. Our thoughts are with his loved ones." And in 2020, of course, Mike Gravel endorsed Bernie Sanders. Clearly, you know, two people here have a long history of being fighters for the working class, being anti-war, and being stand-up guys in the sense that they actually have principles. I mean, how often do we see politicians pretend to want to help people, pretend to campaign on a message of standing up for the working class, and ultimately, of course, they don't, and just sell out to massive corporations and the wealthy. But here you have Mike Gravel, who did stand up for people and did so his entire career. Last thing here I want to end on, the Gravel Institute, which, by the way, fantastic YouTube page. Check it out. They have a lot of videos breaking down various issues. Here they tweeted out, "We are sad to announce that Senator Mike Gravel passed away peacefully, surrounded by family at his home in Seaside, California. He was 91 and had lived the fullest life anyone could have ever wanted. We will miss him every day." Mike Gravel, a trailblazer and a champion for the people. Rest in peace.